Sipple. We're live.
Yeah, we are live.
We're live.
We're alive.
We're alive. It's 11:55 p.m. late night. Parker and Sipple, Lincoln Journal-Star, HuskerExtra.com coming at you live from the 6th floor Memorial Stadium in the press box. You can see the soda machine right behind Sipple's shoulder there. People still at work here.
Who saw that coming?
I would say nobody.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was. I didn't see anybody predict 56.
I mean, you had
30
designs of Nebraska winning handily though, 30-7.
Yeah, that's
so,
a far cry from 56.
So we'll let people fill in the comments if you got questions, comments, concerns. Let us know. We're going to be here for 20 minutes or so, chatting with you guys. Sipple, first things first. I guess just what do you make of this game and game for the night and all that, but it was hard not to think about.
I can tell you when 21-0.
Yeah.
When Nebraska was up 21-0 in the first quarter, that's when I started thinking about Michigan.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be fun. This is going to be a fun week. It's going to be a very difficult game against Michigan. It'll look a lot different because Michigan's so good up front on defense. But I mean, it's what you want. Michigan hasn't come in here since what we determined 2012.
Yeah.
And I know when Nebraska joined the Big Ten, one of the things I was always looking forward to is Nebraska playing Michigan and Ohio State fairly regularly. And they haven't played Michigan very regularly. Now here they come with Harbaugh and a 5-0 team. But a team that Nebraska can clearly compete with.
Yeah. Yeah. And, obviously for most of this, we'll talk about tonight. Nebraska rushed for 427 yards and 7 touchdowns, had 657 yards of offense all told, 8.9 per play, which is just off the best mark of the Scott Frost tenure. And it's the second time they've been at 8.5 or higher in a game this season. They did against Buffalo too.
So the big takeaway, I think, this is what Frost's program looks like when it's hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Now maybe you'd say Minnesota. They beat Minnesota in 2018, 53-28. I mean, Northwestern didn't score 28.
Right. Right.
This was the most complete performance that they've had under Frost.
Yes.
Frost handled this, and he probably said that knowing what's up next too.
Also, don't you think part of it too is they did not handle success well at all last year?
That's a good point.
They beat Penn State and then they came out and laid the dud against Illinois, and then they beat I don't remember who, Purdue, and then they laid the dud.
It could be in the back of his mind, but this team, I think it's a very sound team mentally.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys on defense, they have the 4 super seniors that are playing all well. I mean, all those,
they are.
Both safeties are playing well. JoJo's playing at a super high level. Stilley's playing at a high level. And they're all very engaged, tough-minded guys. And it's not just them. On defense, on offense, they have them too, starting with Adrian, but also Austin Allen and Cam Jurgens and Samari Toure.
Yep.
Those are old guys that are I think they're not old, relatively speaking. I mean, they're veteran players, and they're very determined and very businesslike and tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough team. That's why they haven't gone away. You could say, well, shit, they're only, what the hell's their record? Like 3-3.
3-3.
Yeah, they could have went away. I mean, it's after a 56-7 win, you forget about kind of the conversation. And one of the big conversations was, what's Nebraska's emotional tank like? Well, I don't think, was it low in the wake of a gut punch loss? I mean, a horrifying loss.
Yeah.
At Michigan State. And there was no real, you didn't see any residual effect of that at all. Now, it helped that Samari Toure made a great catch
first play. I know it's the butterfly effect thing is weird, but if that's an interception on the first play rather than a 70-yard
game, you wonder a little bit.
But what Frost said after the game is spot on. What he said was, when you have good players, they make plays. They and Samori Toure turned that 50-50 ball into a 70-yard game on the first play, and then they were off to the races.
Exactly right.
We'll get to a bunch of questions and comments. Thank you, everybody, for being here. No, it's late. Mark, hello. Matt says, good evening, Sipple and Parker. I'm up listening to post-game radio and doing some Medicare open enrollment prep work for my wife's health insurance agency. How are you hanging in there on this late night? Good, man. I'm not doing insurance paperwork, so I did have to bang out a game story, but,
Yeah, it was kind of a fun night.
It was. Yeah. It's pretty straightforward on a night like this. Tony says GBR. Nate says hell of a punt. Yeah, Nate. I mean,
how about that?
There's multiple ways to look at that. I mean, one, you saw Will Pristup running down the field, jumping in the arms of the long snapper, and it's got to feel really good after last week. It does. There's the natural part of you that's like, well, that would have won the game for him last week, pretty much. That would have all, but. That was there was audible laughter in the press box when that ball sailed over the returner's head, because it was like, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. On a night when it looks like this, like, of course.
Right.
The guy would blast one on his one. Trepper, what's up, man? Shut up, Sipple. Do you think the O-line can hold up?
I'd say opener
Yeah.
for a new look line.
Yeah.
I mean, Prohaska did more than just hang in there.
Yeah.
They moved the line of scrimmage consistently. You've liked Noradine Noeli a lot
for a while,
and that picture looked good too, Noradine. Corcoran had his. I mean, he still struggled a little bit on the right side.
Yep.
But all in all, yeah. Come on. What did they rush for?
Yeah, 427.
Yeah, like you said, 427, 8.1 a carry. I mean, I'm not going to nitpick that. How do you nitpick?
Yeah.
They moved the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the only thing to say on that is just that it's going to be a lot different.
Way different.
I mean, it's going to be a lot different.
Yeah, but not again. Nobody's expecting Nebraska to run 8.1 yards against Michigan.
You got some
56.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be really interesting. I mean, it's not. I don't think you can expect the group to be perfect, but I'm sure that a night like this helps. Jojo Doman said after a game like this, he's like, I think your body recovers better after a win. You just feel better. The attitude's better, and it's easier to learn from mistakes when they come in a win than when they come in a loss. And that'll be big. I mean, Frost really credited both guys, but in particular Prohaska for the way he approached the week. Said he wasn't nervous. He handled himself really well. We've seen that from him in our brief dealings with him already this year. Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan, a name you're going to hear a lot over the next 7 days. I mean, he's a potential top 15 pick. Mm-hmm. He's really good. And they've got a bunch of them on the D line, and in the front seven. But we'll see. Trepper.
Here's the deal.
How up for the challenge?
Yeah, here's the deal, Parker. Nebraska tonight ran 8.1 yards a carry. Nobody's expecting that against Michigan, but what if they run 4 yards a carry?
Yeah, right.
And not score 56, but score 27.
Yep.
27 might get you a win.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to tell you, Sipple. So I put this in the PG version, and I think I might have mentioned in the game story too. 6 games in now, half the regular season gone. Nebraska's defense is allowing 15.5 points a game.
Jeez. So that's a top. Now they're probably top 25.
Yeah.
In scoring defense.
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah.
There will be top 25. It's pretty good.
Matt says Prohaska looked pretty damn good. No penalties from the top of the line unit. Yeah, Matt, key. I mean, really key, right? I mean, they were clean. I think the first penalty was in the second half. The first offensive line penalty was when the second team was in. So, yeah, definitely. They definitely took care of business on that front. Mike says, I felt a strong performance coming before kickoff. I felt it in the atmosphere and believe the players feed off that energy. How about that third and fourth quarter show?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What? No, wait. What are you talking about?
Well, just I think literally the light show between the third and fourth quarter, but just the energy in the building.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, that's a prelude to next week when it'll be turned up a notch.
Yeah, it's gonna be a madhouse next week. It's gonna be really fun. Was Northwestern that bad, or did our O-line really improve that much in 1 week? Luke, I got a similar question to this on
what would you say?
Twitter, and my answer was yes. I mean, Northwestern's bad. There's no two ways about it. I mean, I've covered the Big Ten 5 years now, and I've been around the Big Ten my whole life, and it's been a long time since I've seen a Northwestern team that bad. It's the most yardage they've given up since Pat Fitzgerald's been the coach there.
Yeah, they're not very good. They were 104th nationally in rushing defense coming in.
Yeah, but they were averaging. They gave up 5.2 yards a carry coming into tonight. They gave up 8.1 tonight. So Nebraska still gashed them good compared to what other teams have done.
Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time minimizing, especially because nobody picked this. I mean,
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people were picking games in the 10-point range. So yeah, I mean, it would be you can't dismiss it.
Yep. Complete team win. Biggest cheer, the punt. Yeah, Larry Frost brought that up after the game that was the biggest cheer of the night. Yeah, I mean, you'll take as many 84-yard punts as you can get, put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
This was crazy, Josh says. Yeah, it was Nebraska.
It was kind of crazy.
It's funny because after the game, you're just very casually like, yep, most complete effort of the Scott Frost era. Michigan, Yant starts, play sound defense. Yeah, Jaquez Yant put himself squarely in the conversation, obviously, tonight going forward. I mean, Frost just said he had to get in shape, had to lose some weight.
I lose 25
pounds.
Okay, here's what I like. I like that. I like the Ramir Johnson, Jaquez Yant. Is it Jaquez?
It's Jaquez. But I'm looking forward to you referring to him as Jaquez Yant from now on.
That's pretty funny. But I do like that combo. It's kind of a
Pepper.
Yeah. I mean, Ramir is he's fast, a little lot smaller. Yant is not slow, by the way. What I like about Yant is his feet. He reminds me of. I'm not comparing him to Jerome Bettis, but what everybody would say about Jerome Bettis, he's a big dude, but he had really good feet.
Yeah.
And this guy's got good feet. I mean, that's why he's a good running back at that size. 240, 6'2". And I'm not saying he's going to keep – like Frost was really good talking about it. He said, let's not make it micros here. It's one game.
I'm going to text Frost and tell him that you're comparing him to Jerome Bettis.
I didn't, though. I did not. But the world's going to look a lot different Saturday night against Michigan to Jaquez Yant than it did tonight.
Yeah. Impressed with the offensive line performance as well as the change in lineup. Yeah, Alex, I mean, it worked for sure. I mean,
it worked.
It's one of those things where it's like I'll 27 and 7 touchdowns. I bet they played okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
they moved the line of scrimmage. We should note that Dominic Raiola did address the line before the game, and I don't think that would hurt. I think that would help. He's a fiery guy, and I bet he lit a little bit of a fire on.
Everyone keeps saying there were changes, but never heard what they were. Kyle, read the Lincoln Journal-Star. But we'll cover it here for you too. So Teddy Prohaska started at left tackle, and Nordine Newelly started at left guard. That was in place of Turner Corcoran and it's been both Ethan Piper and Trent Hickson. Corcoran flipped to right tackle and started there. So the two
stayed.
And Sichterman and Juergens stayed. Yeah. So the two new players were Newelly and Prohaska, and the players who got bounced from the lineup were Trent Hickson and Bryce Bennett at right tackle. Maybe this has been covered before, but why is there no attempt at returning punts? This is a question pointed right at Sipple's heart. There were opportunities tonight. Yeah, Josh, there were. It was Sipple is going to say I'm making excuses. It was Oliver Martin's first game back after he missed the past 4 with an knee injury. So they were content to just catch the ball tonight. 6 punts, 6 fair catches. True, though, that it looked like there were a couple opportunities to maybe get some yards.
2. I thought there were 2 opportunities, and it's not anything to rail about. It's just I would like to see Nebraska be more aggressive in that area, but maybe just this was the right tack to take after the freak shows that we've seen.
Freak show? What do you mean?
I tell you what, I like Oliver Martin, and I like he does have he's kind of a picture of stability back there. I will say that. Now I'd like to see him be a picture of about 7 yards of crack. When he gets a chance.
Yeah,
he gets a chance.
Mr. Garrett Nelson looked good again, Ashton says. Yeah, he did. He was a little quieter tonight. He had a big night statistically against Michigan State. He had 2 tackles tonight, tackle for loss. Simple, that puts him at 8 tackles for loss through the first half of the season. So best on the team.
How many tackles for loss tonight?
1 for Garrett Nelson tonight. Looks like 7 overall for the defense, including 4 sacks. But yeah, Garrett Nelson, obviously you can do the math. If he's got 8 through half the season, safely into double digits is you need a couple guys like that on defense, and he's been a big play guy for him so far this year. Yant seemed to look good tonight. Was that the more offensive line or his talent? Chris, probably some of both.
Yeah,
he got 64.
Second level, a 220-pound linebacker is going to have a little trouble with him.
Yeah, JoJo Doman had a funny line about that. He said, "You do not want him running angry if you're tasked with tackling him, even in walkthroughs, even in practice." He said, "It's not fun. It is not a fun challenge to try to get that guy to the ground." Yeah. Where was Yant all year? Seth, we talked a little bit about this. Frost said after the game that he had a really good spring, then showed up to preseason camp 25 pounds overweight and told him he was not going to play until he got back down to a more manageable number. And Yant was interesting. He said, obviously I was upset, but he said coaches get paid to coach. And so if the coaching staff tells me that I need to be at a certain weight in order to play, then my job is to do what they say.
That's a great attitude.
And so you are just, the love is just pouring out for Jacquez.
Good attitude.
But he basically, the point is he embraced the challenge they laid out before him. It took him a while. But he got there and he made an impact tonight. We'll see what kind of impact he can make going forward. Secondary got burned bad several times, got hurt next week. Yeah, Chris, they definitely are going to have to play better in coverage next week.
Who besides Taylor Britt, though?
Well, Quentin Newsom. They just ran
Newsom.
They ran that stop. They were running those stop routes, and then they ran so many of them, and then they got Taylor Britt once on a double move. And it's not like it was terrible, but they did. They had some coverage issues. It looked like it's hard to tell. Some communication stuff. There's a couple times where Helinski just had a long time to throw and kind of figured out something down the field. Let's see here. Frost is 24-0 all time when his team scores at least 35 points.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's a good stat, Chris.
24-0.
I'm not. Yeah, that's what Chris here says on Facebook. I'm not doubting you at all. It makes sense. 35 is a pretty good number. I need to go on Yant's diet plan. Nate says, yeah,
I do too.
Drop a 25 spot out. You said it, Sipple. Next Bettis.
I never said that. The bus.
Michigan game. What do you guys honestly think our chances are? Bradley asks.
Well, here's what I'd say. Okay. I think it's going to be close. I think it's almost. It just feels like almost like a toss-up game to me.
Yeah, Andy asked here, what's the line going to be? Michigan -3. That sounds about right to me. Maybe 4.5. I'd be surprised if it's a lot different than that, though.
Yeah.
Ramir actually had a solid game as well. Oh, go ahead, Sipple.
You saw Michigan more. You watched that game against Wisconsin more than I do. Come on, Parker. What? Just think about Michigan's offense versus Nebraska's
Yeah.
defense. What do you think?
That's the thing. I don't know that Michigan's going to come in here and pile up yards and points. I mean, Nebraska, the way Nebraska's defense is playing, I'm not sure. Michigan is. I don't know. They're probably better than Michigan State offensively, but I don't think
so?
their world's different. They lost to Bellamy, who was their best receiver earlier in the season. So McNamara and their receiving core, Blake Corum is their running back. They probably are similar to Michigan State, like skill-wise, offensively. And Nebraska's defense played really well.
Yeah, they scored 21.
Yeah, they scored 23, but they scored 16 against Nebraska's defense.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if Nebraska holds them to 17, they'd have a good chance to win. On the other hand, I could see Michigan winning 17-10. I could see Nebraska winning 17-10. I think it's going to be a much different looking game than this one.
Mark says Michigan 5.5 to 7. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's out of the realm.
Seems like it could be a lot. That seems like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like a lot.
Consider this stat. Sipple and Parker are legends. Thoughts? I think you might have us confused with someone else.
Yeah.
Sif.
Yeah.
The night had to be astronomical for recruiting. The stadium was ecstatic. Yeah, Sam, that's a good point, and probably a good one to end on. We're getting late here, but I mean that's a good point. They had a lot of one official visitor in from the 22 class, but a bunch of key guys, 23, 24 classes. Dominic Rayola's kid Dylan, who's a blue chip quarterback recruit already. Tausili Akana, who's the top outside linebacker recruit in the country for the 2023 class. They had a bunch of those guys, and anytime you put it on a team like that, but also do it at night with that atmosphere, I mean, that you show kids what it can look like. Now, obviously, recruiting, like winning more is the only way to really elevate that. Mm-hmm. But having this be the night that some of those guys were on campus this year, hard to complain about that if you're Nebraska. Good?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you all for the late night interaction here. It's great. Good to see so many of you here. Nebraska gets it done 56-7 tonight against Northwestern. Big one against Michigan coming up next Saturday. Right back here, night kick at Memorial Stadium. It's going to be fun. We'll have a ton of coverage up already on journalstar.com/Huskers. More even still tonight, tomorrow, and then rolling right out and into next week. So check that all out. Please subscribe. For Sipple, I'm Parker. Thanks for watching.
Good job. So did they have 50 kids here?